On Christmas Eve, my daughter hissed, "Why didn't you buy us expensive gifts?" I grabbed my coat, left the house, and spent the holiday alone in a five-star hotel. But that was only the beginning. The hotel lobby smelled like cinnamon and money. I handed my keys to a doorman in a top hat. He didn't blink at my broken zipper or my coffee-stained sleeve. "Checking in, Mom?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "Name Carol Henderson." How many nights I looked at my phone? 0 messages. 0 missed calls. My family hadn't even noticed I was gone. 3. I sat upstairs. I sat on the edge of the king-size bed. The city glittered under snow. My phone buzzed. Sarah asterisk mom. Seriously, you left asterisk asterisk yes. Asterisk asterisk dad says you're being dramatic. Come home. Asterisk asterisk no asterisk asterisk whatever. I'm going to bed. Asterisk I typed back. Asterisk goodnight Sarah. Merry Christmas. Asterisk she didn't reply that I ordered a $48 steak and ate it alone. I drank a $22 glass of Merlot. I cried into the collar of the hotel robe until my eyes were raw. At midnight, I took a tiny bottle of Jack Daniels from the minibar. I drank it in one sip. I fell asleep on top of the covers. Morning came golden and sharp. I woke to 57 messages. Most from Sarah. Some from Mark. A few from my sister Linda, who lived 3 states away. Sarah's first texts were angry. Asterisk you ruined Christmas. Dad is sulking. Asterisk then confused. Mom, are you okay then? At 2 a.m. Asterisk I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. Asterisk then 3 a.m. Where you please come home? I didn't reply. I put the phone down. I went to the window. Across the street, in the park, a woman sat alone on a bench. Red scarf. Motionless. Staring at the snow. I watched her for 10 minutes. She didn't move. She didn't check her phone. She didn't eat or drink. Just Saturday at breakfast, I asked the waiter about her. She comes every day, he said. Sits for hours. Doesn't talk to anyone. We think she lost someone. I paid my $35 buffet. I put on my coat. I walked across the street and sat down next to her. Can I help you? She asked. Dry voice. Paper voice. I'm sorry, I said. I saw you from my hotel window. I wondered if you were okay. She studied me. Then she smiled.
Ai fine.
Just keeping a promise.
What promise? She patted the bench. Iset.
The wood was cold through my jeans. My husband used to bring me here every Christmas morning. He died 3 years ago. Heart attack. Right in this park. But I still come. I keep the promise we made. That we would always spend Christmas together. Even if one of us wasn't there anymore. I told her about Sarah. About Mark. About the cheap gifts and the hiss. And the door slamming behind me. She listened. When I finished, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a crumpled pack of mints. She offered me one. You know what I think, she said. What? I think you needed to be here. Not at that hotel. Here. With me. This bench. Sometimes the universe gives you a stranger to remind you who you are. And who am I? Someone who forgot she's worth more than cheap gifts. My throat tightened. We sat in silence. Children built a snowman across the street. A golden retriever chased a stick. My name is Eleanor, she said. Carol?
Carol.
Strong name. She nodded. Every year on Christmas Eve, I go to the cemetery. I bring my husband a piece of cherry pie. I tell him everything that happened. Every joy. Every disappointment. And on Christmas morning, I come here and I let it all go. Let it go. I leave it on this bench. All of it. Sadness, regret, anger. I walk home with an empty heart, so I can fill it again next year. She stood up. You should try it. Try what? Leaving something behind. She pulled a worn leather journal from her pocket. This is my diary from this year. Full of hurt. My daughter's divorce. My own health problems. Loneliness. I'm leaving it here. I'm walking away. And I'm not coming back for it. She set the journal on the bench. She buttoned her coat. She walked toward the exit. Her red scarf flapped like a flag. Wait, I called. Eleanor. What happens to it? She didn't turn. Someone will find it. They'll read it. Maybe they'll feel less alone. Or maybe it'll get buried in snow and disappear. Either way, it's not mine anymore. She turned the corner and vanished. I stared at the journal.
Small. Plain.
Leather soft from years of handling. I didn't touch it. I walked back to the hotel. I took the elevator to my room. I ordered a club sandwich. I ate it on the couch watching The Sound of Music. At 2 p.m., I took out my phone. No new messages. Just Sarah's last plea. Please come home. I typed. Asterisk, I love you. But I'm not coming home yet. I need time. Asterisk, I turned off my phone. That night, I went to the hotel bar. A man sat at the far end.
Bite. Tweed jacket.
He nursed a scotch. I sat 4 stools away. I ordered wine. First time here, he asked. Smooth-voiced, yes. Me too. My wife kicked me out. I blinked. Excuse me, she said. I breathed too loud. 12 years of marriage. She kicked me out because I breathed too loud. He raised his glass. To breathing. I raised mine. To breathing. We clinked.
He told me about Diane.
Real estate agent. Sleeping in the guest room for 6 months. The breathing was just the final excuse. She wanted a divorce anyway, he said. Just didn't have the courage to say it. So she blamed my lungs. I'm sorry. Don't be. I've got 3 kids who still talk to me. A dog who wags his tail. A sailboat. What do you have? I opened my mouth. Closed it. I don't know, I said. He nodded.
That's honest.
Most people lie. They say, I have everything I need, while their eyes are screaming for help. Is that what my eyes are doing? He looked at me. Your eyes are asking a question, and you're the only one who can answer it. He finished his scotch. He patted my shoulder. He walked out. I sat alone until the ice in my wine melted. At 9 p.m., I went back to my room. I opened my phone. 1 new message. From Sarah. Oh, asterisk, Mom, I'm sorry. I was horrible. Can we talk? Asterisk, I stared at the screen. I remembered Eleanor's journal. I remembered what she said about leaving things behind. I typed. Asterisk, yes. Tomorrow. Call me in the morning. Asterisk, I slept. For the first time in years, I slept through the night. The phone rang at 7:23 a.m. Sarah's name lit up the screen. I answered. Mom, her voice was small. Fragile. Not the hissing snake from last night. I'm here. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I was so mean. Tell me why, Sarah. The real reason. Silence. I heard her breathing. Shallow. Fast. It's Dad, she whispered. What about Dad? He told me you were hiding money. He said you had a secret savings account. He said you were planning to leave us. That's why I was so angry. I thought you didn't care. I gripped the phone so hard my knuckles went white. Sarah, listen to me. There is no secret account. There never was. I've been working double shifts at the diner. I've been paying the mortgage alone. I've been paying your student loans alone. Your father hasn't worked in 3 years. I know. I found the bank statements. I looked after you left. Mom, you're not hiding money. He is. My stomach dropped. What do you mean he has an account? A separate one. I saw it on his laptop. He left it open. $37,000. He told me it was for the future. But there's a withdrawal from 2 days ago. Mom, he bought himself a new truck. The room swayed. I sat down on the edge of the bed. A new truck. A Ford F-150. He picked it up yesterday. He told me it was a rental. But I saw the paperwork. I heard Mark's voice in the background. Who are you talking to? Sarah's voice dropped to a whisper. I have to go.
But Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I believed him. I always believe him. The line went dead. I stared at the wall. $37,000. 3 years of telling me his back hurt. 3 years of watching me wait tables, coming home with aching feet, counting pennies. 3 years of me buying Christmas gifts at Target and sewing my own coat. And he had $37,000 in a secret account. He had bought a new truck. I felt something crack inside me. Not my heart. Something harder. Something older. A foundation I had been standing on for 25 years. I got dressed. I walked to the park. I found the bench. Eleanor's journal was still there, half covered in fresh snow. I picked it up. I brushed off the snow. I opened it. The first page said, Asterisk, you are allowed to be angry. You are allowed to leave. You are not a bad person for wanting more than crumbs. Asterisk. I sat down. I read the whole journal. It took 2 hours. Every page was a wound. Her daughter's coldness. Her husband's death. The lonely holidays. The doctor appointments. The nights she stared at the ceiling and wondered if anyone would notice if she vanished. But the last page was different. It said, Asterisk, today I gave my journal to a stranger. She looked like she needed it. And I realized something. I'm not waiting to be rescued anymore. I'm the one who does the rescuing. Not with money. Not with gifts. With presence. With truth. With the simple act of sitting next to someone and saying, I see you. Asterisk. I closed the journal. I put it in my coat pocket. I walked back to the hotel. I packed my bag. I checked out. I drove home. The house looked the same. Same chipped paint. Same crooked mailbox. Same Christmas tree blinking through the front window. I opened the door. Sarah was sitting on the couch. Her eyes were red. Mark stood in the kitchen doorway. His hands were in his pockets. His face was hard. Where's your new truck, Mark? I asked. His jaw tightened. What are you talking about? $37,000. A Ford F-150. Picked it up yesterday. Don't lie to me. Sarah looked at him. She knows, Dad. I told her. He turned purple. His veins bulged on his forehead. You little, don't you dare, I said. Don't you dare call her names. You've been lying to her. You've been lying to me. 3 years of watching me break my back while you sat on the couch. 3 years of me making excuses for you. 3 years of me telling myself it wasn't your fault. His mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. I was saving for retirement, he said. That's all. Retirement. With a new truck. It was an investment. I laughed. It came out sharp and broken. You're a liar, Mark. And I'm done. I'm done making excuses. I'm done begging for scraps. I'm done believing that love means sacrifice. Sarah stood up. Mom. I looked at her. Your father poisoned you. He told you I was hiding money. He turned you against me. And you believed him, because he's your dad. I understand that. But I need you to understand something too. She waited. I am not the villain in this story. I never was. I gave you everything I had. Every single thing. It wasn't expensive, but it was real. And real is worth more than a Lululemon set. She started crying. Not loud sobs. Quiet ones. The kind that shake your whole body. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know. Mark stepped forward. Carol, let's not be hasty. We can talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. I want a divorce. You're being irrational. No, Mark. For once in my life, I'm being rational. I've been irrational for 25 years. That's over. I walked to the bedroom. I pulled out a suitcase. I started packing. Sarah followed me. Where are you going? I don't know yet. But I'm not staying here. Can I come with you? I stopped. I turned. Come with me. I don't want to stay with him either. He's not the person I thought he was. He lied to me. He used me. He made me hate you. I looked at my daughter. Really looked. Not at the angry girl from last night. Not at the hissing snake. I looked at the woman underneath. The one who had been manipulated. The one who had been used as a weapon. I held out my hand. She took it. We walked to the front door. Mark stood in the hallway. His face was red. His hands were shaking. You're making a mistake, he said. Both of you. You'll come crawling back. I opened the door. The snow had stopped. The sun was shining. Goodbye, Mark. We walked to the car. Sarah got in the passenger seat. I started the engine. Where to? She asked. I thought about Eleanor. I thought about Frank. I thought about the bench in the park and the journal in my pocket. Let's find a hotel, I said. A cheap one. And then let's figure out what comes next. She nodded. She didn't argue. She didn't hiss. She just reached over and held my hand. Her fingers were cold. So were mine. But for the first time in a long time, we were holding them together. and that felt like everything that the cheap hotel room smelled like bleach and old cigarettes. Sarah sat on the edge of the bed, still in her Christmas sweater, still clutching her phone like a lifeline. I stood by the window, looking out at a parking lot full of snow-covered cars. The sign outside flashed, Motel 6, vacancy. We had been there for 3 hours. Sarah hadn't stopped crying, but she had stopped shaking. That was progress. "Mom," she said, "I need to tell you everything." I turned. Everything? Dad didn't just lie about the account. He lied about a lot of things. I found files on his laptop. After you left, I went through his desk. I don't know why. I was angry. I wanted to prove you were the one hiding something. But I found the opposite.
My stomach tightened.
What files? Bank statements. Going back 5 years. He had money the whole time. Not just the $37,000.
More.
He transferred it out in small amounts so I wouldn't notice. But there were withdrawals every month. Hundreds of dollars. Sometimes thousands. Where did it go? She looked at me. Her eyes were raw, red-rimmed. Gambling. Online poker. He's been playing for years. He lost a lot. But he also won. And he never told you because he didn't want you to know he had money. I sat down on the bed next to her. The springs creaked. "Sarah, you're telling me your father has been hiding income for 5 years. He has a separate checking account. At a different bank. He used our address but his work email. I found the login in his password manager. He wasn't careful. He never thought I'd look." I stared at the wall. The wallpaper was peeling in the corner. A water stain spread like a map of some forgotten country. "How much total?" I asked. "About $82,000. Over 5 years. Some of it came from his old job before he quit. He told you he got laid off. But he had a severance package. $35,000. He cashed it and put it in the secret account." I felt the air leave my lungs. 35,000. He had walked around the house for 3 years complaining about money, watching me count quarters for laundry, while he had $35,000 in a secret account. "Mom, there's more." More, he took out a loan. Against the house. 2 years ago. I found the paperwork in the safe. He didn't tell you because he used the money to pay off gambling debts. I stood up. I walked to the window. My reflection stared back at me. A tired woman in a stained coat, gray hair at her temples, eyes that had seen too much, alone against our house. I said, "Without my signature." He forged it. I checked the document. "Your name is on it. But the signature doesn't look like yours." I remembered that signature. The one I had signed at the bank when we bought the house 20 years ago. The one with the little loop on the C. The one that matched every school permission slip and every credit card receipt and every birthday card I had ever written to Mark had practiced it. He had learned to copy it. All those evenings when he sat at the kitchen table with papers and a pen, I thought he was paying bills. He was forging my name. "Sarah, this changes everything." "I know. Do you understand what this means? He stole money from us. He stole the house. He stole my signature. He stole years of my life." She nodded. "I know, Mom. That's why I came with you. I couldn't stay with him. Not after I saw what he did." I turned from the window. I knelt in front of her. I took her hands. "Sarah, I need you to be honest with me. Did you know about this before Christmas?" "No."
"I swear."
"I didn't know until I went through his laptop. I was trying to find proof that you were wrong. I wanted to call you and tell you I was right. But then I found the statements and I realized I was the one who was wrong. About everything. About you. About Dad. About myself." She started crying again. I pulled her into a hug. She felt small in my arms, smaller than she had felt in years. My little girl was still in there, hiding behind the anger and the cheap gifts and the hissed words. "We're going to fix this," I said.
"Together."
"But it's going to be hard." Harder than staying. I thought about that. The house. The mortgage. The loan. The secret accounts. The forged signature. 25 years of marriage that had been built on a foundation of lies. "Harder," I said. "But better." We sat in the motel room for the rest of the day. I ordered pizza from a place that delivered to the parking lot. Sarah ate 2 slices, then fell asleep on the bed. I watched her breathe. Her face was peaceful, the anger gone. She looked like she used to look when she was 6 years old, tucked into her princess sheets, dreaming of unicorns. I pulled out my phone. I had 12 missed calls from Mark. I didn't listen to the voicemails. I texted my sister Linda, I need a lawyer. Do you know anyone? She texted back within seconds. What happened? Mark forged my signature on a home equity loan. He has secret accounts. I'm leaving him. Her response was 3 emojis, a shocked face, a fist, a heart. I know a woman. She's tough. She's expensive, but she's tough. I'll send you her number. 10 minutes later, I had a name. Patricia O'Brien. Family law. 20 years of experience. Linda's text said, tell her I sent you. She'll take you seriously. I called. It went to voicemail. I left a message. This is Carol Henderson. My sister Linda gave me your number. I need help. My husband forged my signature on a loan. He hid assets. I'm filing for divorce. Please call me. I hung up. I stared at the phone, but then I started making a list. Every date, every amount, every lie. I wrote it all down in a spiral notebook I bought from the motel vending machine. The pages filled up fast. December 20, 2021. Mark said he lost his job. Received severance of $35,000. Did not disclose. January 15, 2022. Mark withdrew $2,500 from secret account. Said it was for bills. March 3, 2022. First online poker deposit. $500. From secret account. June 2022. Forged signature on home equity loan. $40,000. Used to pay gambling debts. November 2022. Second poker deposit. $1,200. The list went on. Year after year. Pattern after pattern. He had been living a double life while I worked double shifts. I had come home with aching feet, and he had come home with winnings from online poker. At 11 p.m., my phone rang. Patricia O'Brien, Ms. Henderson, she said. Her voice was low, firm, no nonsense. Linda told me about your situation. Do you have documentation? Yes. I have copies of bank statements. I have the loan documents. I have a list of withdrawals. Good. Make copies. Keep the originals in a safe place. Don't tell your husband you've contacted me. And don't go back to the house unless you have someone with you. I won't. One more thing. Do you have a safe place to stay? I'm in a motel with my daughter. Stay there. I'll call you tomorrow morning with next steps. And Ms. Henderson, yes, don't let him scare you. Men like this rely on fear. They rely on you believing you have no options. You have options. You have rights. And you have a very good case. I thanked her. I hung up. I felt something shift in my chest. Not hope exactly. Something harder. Something sharper. The feeling of a weapon being forged. The next morning, Sarah woke up first. She was already on her phone. Mom, she said. Dad is posting on Facebook. I sat up. What? He's saying you abandoned the family. He's saying you had an affair. He's making you look crazy. I grabbed my phone. I opened Facebook. There it was. Mark's post shared with all our friends, all our family, everyone we had ever known. Carol has left me and our daughter. She said she needed space. I don't know if she's coming back. Please pray for her. She hasn't been herself lately. I'm worried about her mental health. The comments flooded in. So sorry to hear this. Praying for your family. Stay strong, Mark. I felt my face burn. He was making me the villain. He was making himself the victim. He was laying the groundwork for a narrative that would make him look like the good guy. I wanted to scream. I wanted to punch the wall. Instead, I took a breath. I pulled up the screenshot of the forged loan document. I pulled up the bank statements. I pulled up everything. And I made a post of my own. My husband, Mark Henderson, has forged my signature on a $40,000 home equity loan. He has hidden $82,000 in secret bank accounts. He has been gambling online for years. I am filing for divorce. I am not having an affair. I am not crazy. I am a woman who has been lied to for 25 years, and I am done. I hit post. Sarah looked at me.
Mom.
That's going to be war.
Good.
I'm ready. Within an hour, the phone started ringing. My mother, my father, my cousin in Florida, my friend from high school. Everyone had seen the post. Everyone had questions. I answered each call. I told each person the same thing. I have proof. I have documents. I have a lawyer. I'm not going back. Some people believed me. Some didn't. My mother said, "Carol, are you sure you're not overreacting?" My father said, "You know how Mark is. He's just confused." I hung up on both of them. At 10 a.m., Patricia called.
I saw the post, she said.
That was bold. I had to protect myself. You also alerted him. He knows you're building a case. He's going to start hiding evidence. He already did. But I have copies of everything. Good. What about the safe? Does he have a safe? Yes. In the bedroom closet. He has a combination lock. Can you get into it? Not without him knowing. Then you need to go back. With a police escort. You need to retrieve your personal documents, birth certificate, passport, social security card. And if the safe is in your name, you have a right to access it. I don't have a police escort. You will. I'll make a call. Be ready in an hour. I dressed quickly. Sarah wanted to come.
I told her to stay.
This is between your father and me. You don't need to be in the middle. I'm already in the middle, she said. I chose you. I'm coming. We drove to the house. A police cruiser was already there. A female officer named Sergeant Miller met us at the curb. "Mrs. Henderson," she said. Ms. O'Brien called. "I'm here to supervise while you retrieve your personal property. You have 30 minutes. I need access to the safe in the bedroom closet." "Is the safe in your name?" "Yes. It was purchased when we bought the house." "I have the receipt." "Then you have the right to open it. But if your husband objects, we'll need to resolve it in court." Mark was standing at the front door. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. "Carol, what are you doing? Getting what's mine? I don't have anything that belongs to you. Open the safe, Mark, or I'll have it drilled."
He stared at me.
For a moment, I saw fear in his eyes. Real fear. Not the usual annoyance. Not the condescending smirk. He was afraid.
"Fine," he said.
"But you won't find anything." He walked to the bedroom. I followed. Sergeant Miller followed. Sarah stayed in the living room with her hands clenched. Mark spun the combination. The safe clicked open. Inside were piles of papers. Insurance documents. Old tax returns. And 3 envelopes. I grabbed the envelopes. I opened the first one. Birth certificates. My birth certificate. Sarah's birth certificate. Mark's birth certificate. All present. The second envelope. My passport. Still valid. My social security card. Mark's passport. The third envelope. A stack of receipts. Hotel receipts. Plane tickets. 2 tickets to Las Vegas dated 3 months ago. 2 tickets to Cancun dated 6 months ago. I looked at Mark. "You went to Cancun. I had to get away. You were so stressed all the time." With who? He didn't answer. He didn't have to. The tickets were for 2 people. One was Mark. The other was a name I didn't recognize. Jennifer something. Who is Jennifer? She's just a friend. She's your lover. You took her to Cancun while I was working double shifts. You paid for it with money you hid from me. Money that should have gone to our daughter's tuition. Money that should have gone to the mortgage. Sergeant Miller stepped forward. "Mrs. Henderson, do you need assistance? I need a copy of these receipts." "All of them." Mark grabbed for the envelopes. I pulled them back. He lunged. Sergeant Miller put a hand on his chest. "Back off, sir. She has a right to her documents. She's stealing." "I'm taking what's mine," I said. "And I'm filing for divorce. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you did. I'm going to tell the judge. I'm going to tell the bank. I'm going to tell your mother." Mark's face went white. "You wouldn't." "I would. And I will. You lied to me for 25 years. You stole my signature. You stole my money. You stole my time. Now I'm taking it back." I walked out of the bedroom. Sarah was standing in the hallway. She had tears running down her face, but she was smiling. "You did it," she whispered. "We did it. Come on." We walked out the front door.
Mark didn't follow.
He stood in the doorway with his mouth open, watching us leave. Sergeant Miller walked us to the car. Mrs. Henderson, be careful. He's going to be angry. If you feel unsafe at any point, call me directly. I took her card.
Thank you.
Back at the motel, I spread everything out on the bed. The receipts, the bank statements, the loan documents, the passports, the birth certificates, the evidence of a double life. Sarah sat beside me. Mom, what do we do now? Now we build a case. We call the bank. We freeze the accounts. We get a restraining order if we have to. And we don't look back. Won't he fight us? Of course he will. That's what he does. He fights dirty. He lies. He manipulates. But this time, I have the truth. And the truth is stronger than a forged signature. I called Patricia. I told her about the safe, the receipts, the plane tickets, the name Jennifer. Good, she said. That's very good. The trips are community property. He can't hide them. And the affair is relevant to the divorce. It's not the only factor, but it's another nail in his coffin. Where do I start? Start with the bank. Call and freeze the secret account. And do it now. He's going to try to drain it. I called the bank. I identified myself. I provided the account number from the statement. The representative put me on hold. When she came back, she said, Mrs. Henderson, I need to ask you a few security questions. Of course. What is your mother's maiden name? Adams. What is your date of birth? June 14th, 1968. Thank you. I'm pulling up the account. There was a withdrawal this morning. $2,000. And a transfer pending for the full balance. $82,000. My hands went cold. Stop the transfer. Freeze the account immediately. I need your husband's authorization. He's the primary account holder. Then put a hold on it. Flag it. Something. I'm his wife. I'm filing for divorce. He forged my signature on a loan. I'm telling you, the representative paused. Mrs. Henderson, I'm looking at the account notes. There's a notation here. It says you are authorized to make changes. Added 2 years ago. What? The notation says, spousal authorization added. Carol Henderson. It's in your name. 2 years ago. Mark had added me as a secondary. He had forgotten he did it. Or he had never expected me to find out. Freeze the account, I said. Do it now. Yes, ma'am. The transfer is blocked. The account is frozen. You'll need to come to a branch with identification to make further changes. Thank you. I'll be there today. I hung up. I looked at Sarah. I froze his account. Her eyes widened. He's going to be so angry. Let him be angry. He's going to be a lot angrier when he gets the divorce papers. We went to the bank branch. Sarah waited in the car. I walked in with my passport and the bank statements. The teller was a young woman named Katie with pink streaks in her hair. She processed the freeze without hesitation. Ma'am, she said, I want you to know something. There was a second transfer attempt. An hour ago. $5,000. It was blocked automatically because the account is frozen. He's trying to move money. He won't succeed. He might try other accounts. Do you have a list of all his accounts? I do now. I found the master list on his laptop. Freeze them all. Every account. And put a fraud alert on your credit. He has your social security number. He could open new accounts in your name. I hadn't thought of that. Mark had my social security number. He had my birth certificate. He had everything he needed to steal my identity. I called Patricia. He has all my personal information. He could open accounts in my name. Then you need to file a police report. Identity theft. Even if it's your husband, it's still a crime. And it's another piece of evidence. I filed the report that afternoon. Sergeant Miller took the details. Sarah sat next to me, her hand on my arm. Mrs. Henderson, Miller said. This is a strong case. But I need to warn you. He's going to fight. He's going to lie. He's going to try to make you look unstable. Don't let him. I won't. Good. And if he contacts you, document it. Every call, every text, every email. Save everything. We drove back to the motel. I had done everything I could for one day. The accounts were frozen. The police report was filed. Patricia was building the case. Sarah made us coffee from the motel room machine. It tasted like cardboard, but it was hot. Mom, she said. What about Christmas? What about it? Can we have Christmas just us without him? I looked at her. My daughter. The girl who had hissed at me 2 days ago. The girl who had called me cheap. The girl who had been manipulated and used by a liar. Tomorrow, I said, we'll buy a small tree. We'll have a real Christmas. Just us. She smiled. The first real smile I had seen in months. Can I pick the gifts, within reason? Nothing expensive. I promise. Just things that matter. We went to the drugstore. The only open store on Christmas Day. Sarah picked out a tiny fake tree, 2 ornaments, and a box of chocolates. I bought a new scarf for her and a pair of gloves for myself. We decorated the tree in the motel room. We hung the ornaments on its thin plastic branches. We put the chocolates underneath. We turned on the TV and watched the same Christmas movie they always showed, the one about the family who learned to love each other despite their differences. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel sad. I felt free. The drugstore tree stood on the motel nightstand, barely 12 inches tall, its plastic needles drooping like tired eyelashes. Sarah had hung both ornaments on the same branch because she said they needed to be close. I looked at that tiny tree and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not joy exactly. More like the memory of joy. A muscle twitching after a long sleep. We ate the chocolates for breakfast. Sarah picked out the coconut ones first, the ones I always hated. She remembered. She remembered everything. That was the thing about daughters. They cataloged you. Every habit, every preference, every weakness. And when they were angry, they used it as ammunition. But when they loved you, they used it to stitch you back together. You okay? She asked. No, I said. But I will be. We spent the morning making phone calls. Patricia had sent a list. Bank, credit union, credit bureaus, the county courthouse, the IRS. I called them all. I explained the situation. I froze accounts. I flagged credit files. I requested copies of every document Mark had ever signed in my name. By noon. I had a manila folder thick enough to kill a small animal. Sarah watched me work. You're like a detective. I'm a mother who's been lied to. That's a different kind of detective. The kind that doesn't sleep. At 1 p.m., my phone rang. Mark. I let it ring. He called again. And again. The 7th time, I answer. Carol, you need to come home.
No.
You're making a scene. Everyone is talking. My mother called. She's devastated. Your mother sold Avon for 40 years and never once asked how I was doing. She can be devastated somewhere else. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. There's a difference.
He sighed.
That same sigh. The one he used when I asked him to take out the trash. The one that said I was being unreasonable. The one that had made me feel small for 25 years. Can we at least talk like adults? We're talking. Face to face.
Please.
Just for 10 minutes. I looked at Sarah. She shook her head. But I was tired of running. I was tired of hiding in cheap motels and freezing accounts and pretending I wasn't furious, where I said, the diner. The one on Maple. For a clock. For a clock. 10 minutes. If you're late, I leave. I hung up. Sarah grabbed my arm. Mom, you can't go alone. I won't. I'm taking you. You want me there, I want witnesses. We drove to the diner. It was the same diner where I had worked for 12 years, the place where my feet learned to ache and my hands learned to carry 3 plates at once. The place where I had earned every penny that Mark had stolen. He was already there, sitting in the back booth, the one with the torn vinyl seat. He had a coffee in front of him, untouched. His face was pale, his hair uncombed. He looked smaller than I remembered. That I slid into the seat across from him. Sarah sat at the counter, close enough to hear but not close enough to be involved. Thank you for coming, he said. Say what you need to say. He leaned forward. I made mistakes. Mistakes. Bad choices. I know that. But I love you, Carol. I've always loved you. I laughed. It came out like a bark. You love me. You forged my name on a loan. You hid $82,000. You took another woman to Cancun. You told our daughter I was hiding money. That's not love, Mark. That's a hostage situation. He flinched. For a second I saw something genuine.
Pain.
Real pain. But I had spent too many years mistaking his pain for remorse. They weren't the same thing. Jennifer doesn't mean anything. She was just someone to talk to. In a hotel room in Cancun. We were going through a tough time. You were always working. I was lonely. I stared at him. I was working because you weren't. I was working because someone had to pay the mortgage. I was working because our daughter needed tuition. I was working because you were saving for retirement in a secret account while I was counting quarters for laundry. He opened his mouth.
Closed it.
Opened it again. I'll pay you back. With what? The money you already spent, the money you gambled away, the money you used to take Jennifer to Mexico. I can sell the truck. Sell the truck. Sell the house. Sell everything. I don't care. I'm not coming back. You don't mean that. I've never meant anything more in my life. He reached across the table. I pulled my hands back. He looked hurt, as if I was the one being unreasonable, as if I was the one who had destroyed our family. Carol, think about Sarah. She needs a father. She needs a father who doesn't manipulate her, who doesn't use her as a weapon against her mother. She needs a father who tells the truth. I can change. You've had 25 years to change.
I'm sorry.
That's not enough. He sat back. His face hardened. I had seen that look before. It was the look he got when he realized he wasn't going to win. The look that turned into cruelty. Fine, he said. If that's how you want it. But you're not going to get a dime. I'll drag this out for years. I'll make you pay for every lawyer. I'll make sure you don't see a penny of that money. Is that a threat? It's a promise. I leaned forward. Mark, listen to me carefully. I have copies of every document. I have the police report for the forged signature. I have the receipts from Cancun. I have the gambling statements. I have enough evidence to bury you. You can drag this out if you want. But every day you fight me, I will add another charge.
Fraud.
Identity theft.
Forgery. Theft.
I will make sure you go to jail. His face went white. You wouldn't. Watch me. I stood up. Sarah joined me at the door. Mark stayed in the booth, his mouth open, his coffee going cold. 10 minutes, I said. We're done. We walked to the car. Sarah was shaking. Mom, that was terrifying. I know. He looked like he wanted to hit you. He wanted to, but he didn't. Because he knows I'm not the same woman he married. That woman is gone. We drove back to the motel. My hands were steady on the wheel. My heart was pounding, but my hands were steady. That night, Patricia called. I heard you met with him. How did you know? Sarah posted it on her Instagram. She's documenting everything. Smart girl. Mark threatened to drag it out. He said I wouldn't get a dime. Let him threaten. I've already filed a motion to freeze all joint assets. The judge signed it this afternoon. He can't access a single account. Not the joint account. Not the secret account. Nothing. I felt a weight lift. You're serious. I'm always serious. This is what I do. And Carol, one more thing. The bank called. They found additional transfers. Small ones. Going back 7 years. Another account. Another bank. He's been hiding money since before Sarah was born. 7 years. Before Sarah was born. Before I had quit my part-time job to stay home with a newborn. Before I had trusted him to handle the finances while I changed diapers and pumped breast milk and slept in 2-hour increments. 7 years, I said. 7 years. I'll send you the statements. But Carol, I need you to understand something. This wasn't a mistake. This was a plan. A long-term, deliberate plan. He was never going to tell you. He was never going to change. I know. Are you okay? No. But I will be. The next day, I drove to the house. I had a police escort again. Sergeant Miller met me at the curb. Mrs. Henderson, I understand you need to retrieve more documents. The safe is empty. But I need his office. The filing cabinet. I need everything. He's at work. He doesn't know you're coming. I didn't care if he knew. I had a court order. Patricia had filed it that morning. I had the right to access anything that belonged to the joint household. The house was quiet. Eerily quiet. No Christmas music. No tree lights. No smell of baking. Just silence and dust motes floating in the winter sun. I went to his office. The filing cabinet was locked. I had the key. I had copied it months ago before I left, when I still suspected but didn't know. Did I open the cabinet? Inside were files. Decades of files. I started pulling them out. Tax returns. Medical records. Insurance policies. And then I found it. A folder labeled personal. Inside were photographs. Not of me. Not of Sarah. Photographs of a woman I didn't recognize. Red hair. Young. Maybe 25. She was in a bikini on a beach. Mark's arm was around her. They were laughing. I flipped through the photos. Cancun.
Las Vegas.
Miami. Hawaii. He had taken her everywhere. He had taken her to places I had always wanted to go. Sergeant Miller looked over my shoulder. Mrs. Henderson, I'm sorry. Don't be. I need to see it. I need to see all of it. I kept pulling files. Bank statements. Credit card bills. More photographs. And then I found the letters. Handwritten letters. From Mark. To this woman. Asterisk, my darling, I can't wait to see you again. This life is so hard. You make it bearable. Asterisk. Asterisk, I think about you every moment. I think about your smile. I think about your skin. I think about the way you laugh. Asterisk, asterisk, she doesn't understand me the way you do. She's so busy. So tired. So angry. You're the only one who makes me feel alive. Asterisk, I read every letter. Every word. Every lie. He had written about me like I was an obstacle. Like I was something to be endured. Like I was the problem. And the worst part, he had hidden them in the filing cabinet. He had kept them. He had wanted to remember. Mrs. Henderson, Miller said. We should go. In a minute. I found one more folder. This one was labeled Sarah. Inside were school reports, art projects, birthday cards, and a letter written by Sarah. To me, asterisk, dear mom, you're the best mom in the world. You work so hard. You always make sure I have everything I need. I know Dad doesn't help much, but I love you. I love you more than anything. Merry Christmas. Asterisk, she had written it when she was 10. She had given it to me. I had put it in my jewelry box. And Mark had taken it. He had taken it from my jewelry box and hidden it in his filing cabinet. Why would he steal a letter from my own daughter? I didn't have time to figure it out. I put the letter in my pocket. I took the photographs. I took the letters. I took everything. We walked to the car. Sarah was waiting. I handed her the letter. She read it. She started crying. He took this from your jewelry box. Yes. Why would he do that? Because he wanted to control me.
He wanted to control how I felt.
He wanted to control every piece of happiness I had. Even the ones that came from you. I drove back to the motel. I spread everything out on the bed. The photographs. The letters. The bank statements. The tax returns. The forged signatures. The secret accounts. The evidence of a man who had built his life on lies. Sarah sat beside me. Mom, this is insane. It's not insane. It's calculated. Every single thing he did was calculated. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he just got away with it. Not anymore. Now I have proof. And proof is power. We spent the night organizing. I made copies of everything. I put the originals in a safety deposit box. I called Patricia and told her about the photographs, the letters, the Hawaii trips. Her response was clinical.
Good.
This is good. The affair is one thing. But the emotional manipulation, the theft, the fraud, this isn't a divorce. This is a felony. Can you use it? I can use all of it. And I will. The next morning my phone rang. Not Mark. His mother. Susan. Carol, I need to see you. Susan, I don't think. I need to see you. Please. It's important. I agreed. We met at a coffee shop near the motel. Susan was older than I remembered. Gray hair pulled back. Eyes red from crying. I know what he did, she said. You do? I've known for years. I didn't say anything. I thought it would pass. I thought he would change. I thought if I ignored it, it would go away. Susan, he forged my signature. He stole $82,000. He had an affair. I know. And I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed. I raised him better than this. You raised him to be entitled. You raised him to believe the world owed him something. You raised him to think that women were there to serve him. She flinched, but she didn't argue. You're right, she said. I failed. I failed my son. And I failed you. I should have said something. Years ago, when I saw the credit card bills, when I saw the hotel receipts, I should have told you. Why didn't you? Because he's my son. Because I wanted to protect him. Because I thought you'd forgive him. Because I thought you'd stay.
I ser det her.
You thought I'd stay. After everything. I was wrong. I was so wrong. And now I'm here to tell you something. Something he doesn't know I know. What, the house? It's not in both your names. It's only in his. He took your name off the deed 2 years ago. He forged the paperwork. He did it while you were working. I felt the world tilt. The house was mine too. I had paid the mortgage. I had paid for the roof repairs. I had paid for everything. He took my name off the deed, yes. It was part of his plan. He wanted to leave you with nothing. He wanted to make sure you'd be destitute. He wanted you to be so scared you'd never leave. I was quiet for a long time. Then I said, Susan, why are you telling me this? Because I've lost my son. I watched him become someone I don't recognize. And I can't pretend anymore. I can't pretend he's a good man. He's not. And I need to do the right thing for the first time in 20 years. She reached into her purse. She pulled out a thick envelope. These are the original deed documents. I took them from his safe. He doesn't know I have them. He doesn't know I was in his office. I copied the keys when he was in the shower. I took the envelope. I opened it. The deed was there. My name had been scratched out. Mark's name was the only one. I can't fix what happened, Susan said. But I can give you this. You deserve it. You've always deserved better. I thanked her. I hugged her. She left the coffee shop with her head down, her shoulders shaking. I sat alone. I looked at the deed. My name. Scratching it out had been a deliberate act. He had sat at a desk, taken a pen, and erased me, but he had made a mistake. He had left the original in his safe. And his own mother had betrayed him to give it to me, that I called Patricia. I have the original deed. Mark took my name off the house. What, that's illegal. That's fraud. His mother gave it to me. She copied the keys. She stole it from his safe. Carol, that woman just handed you the entire case on a silver platter. With this, I can get you half the house. I can get you damages. I can get you everything. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt exhausted. The kind of exhaustion that goes bone deep. That night, Sarah and I sat in the motel room. The tiny Christmas tree was still on the nightstand. The ornaments had fallen off. I fixed them. Mom, Sarah said. Do you think he ever loved you? I thought about it. The early years. The late nights. The promises that I think he loved what I could give him. I think he loved having someone who worked and cleaned and cooked and never complained. But I don't think he ever loved me. Not the real me. Not the person I actually am. Then why did he marry you? Because I was convenient. Because I was available. Because I was young and naive, and I thought love meant sacrifice. Sarah was quiet. Then she said, I'm never going to be like that. I'm never going to let someone use me. You won't. Because you know better. Because you saw what happens. Because you're stronger than I was. Mom, you were strong. You just didn't know it. I pulled her close. We're both strong. We just had to learn it the hard way. The next day, Patricia filed a motion to contest the deed. The judge issued an emergency order. Mark's access to the property was restricted. He couldn't sell it.
He couldn't borrow against it.
He couldn't do anything. Mark called. He was screaming, You stole from me. You stole the deed. You had my mother steal from me. She was doing the right thing, Mark. Something you never learned to do. I'll kill you. I swear to God, Carol, I'll kill you. I hung up. I called the police. I filed a report for threatening violence. Sergeant Miller took it seriously. He's escalating, she said. Men like him always escalate when they lose control. You need a restraining order. File it.
She filed it.
Mark was served that afternoon. And then, the real war began. The motel room had started to feel like a war room. Papers covered every surface. Bank statements on the bed. Photographs on the dresser. Legal documents on the tiny table where we ate our microwaved meals. Sarah had made a timeline on the wall using sticky notes and a pen she stole from the front desk. Green for lies. Red for theft. Yellow for the affair. The wall looked like a crime scene because it was 3 weeks had passed since Christmas. 3 weeks since I had walked out the door. 3 weeks since my daughter had hissed at me, and I had driven away with nothing but a broken coat and a credit card with $1,500 left. Now I had evidence. I had a lawyer. I had a police report. I had Mark's own mother on my side. And I had a daughter who had stopped crying and started fighting. Mom, Sarah said, pointing at the timeline. I found something else. What? His gambling account. I got into it. He used the same password for everything. The username was his birthday. The password was my name. I felt my stomach turn. He had used her name. His daughter's name. The same daughter he had manipulated into hating me. The same daughter whose love he had weaponized. How much, I asked. Total deposits over 5 years. $63,000. But withdrawals were only $41,000. He lost $22,000. But he also had winnings. Small amounts. A few hundred here and there. He was cashing out and putting it into the secret account. Show me. She pulled up the account on her laptop. The screen was full of numbers. Deposits. Withdrawals.
Dates. Times.
Every transaction was logged. Every penny was accounted for. I stared at the screen. Sarah, this is gold. This is proof of where the money went. I know. And there's more. He had a second gambling account. At a different site. Same username. Same password. I found it by accident. Show me. She clicked. Another screen. More numbers. More deposits. More withdrawals. More evidence total across both accounts, she said. $89,000 deposited. $67,000 withdrawn. $22,000 lost. That's almost exactly the amount of the loan he took out. Exactly. He took the loan to cover his losses. He forged your name because he didn't want you to know he had gambled away the money he was supposed to be saving. I sat down on the edge of the bed. The springs groaned. He used our house. He used our future. He used my signature. He used everything. Sarah put her hand on my shoulder. Mom, we're going to win. We have everything. He has nothing. But I knew Mark. He wouldn't go down quietly. He would fight. He would lie. He would manipulate. He would do whatever it took to protect himself. And I was right. The next morning, Patricia called. Carol, I need to tell you something. Mark filed a counter-petition. For what? He's claiming you abandoned the marriage. He's claiming you're unstable. He's asking for full custody of Sarah. He's asking for the house. He's asking for everything. I felt my blood run cold. Full custody. Sarah is 23. She's not a child. He's claiming she's vulnerable. He's claiming you've been manipulating her. He's claiming you've turned her against him. She's been on my side since Christmas. She came with me. She chose me. I know that. You know that. But he's trying to paint a picture. He's trying to make you look like the aggressor. He's trying to make himself look like the victim. He's not a victim. He's a thief. He's a liar. He's a forger. I know, Carol. And we have the evidence. But we need to be strategic. We need to counter every single claim he makes. We need to prepare for a long fight. I'm ready. The days blurred together. Depositions. Phone calls. Meetings with Patricia. Sarah and I became a team. She handled the digital evidence. I handled the paper trail. Together, we built a case that would make any jury weep. But Mark was not done. One night, Sarah came into the motel room with her phone in her hand. Her face was pale. Mom, he posted again. I grabbed the phone. Mark had made another Facebook post. This time, he had included a photograph. A photograph of me. A photograph I had never seen before. Asterisk, this is the woman who abandoned her family. She's been struggling with mental health issues for years. I tried to help her. I tried to get her treatment. She refused. Now she's taken my daughter and vanished. Please share this. I need to find them. I need to bring them home. Asterisk, the comments were brutal. Poor Mark, what a terrible woman. I always knew she was off. I felt my face burn. He was lying. He was twisting everything. He was turning our community against me. Mom, what do we do? I looked at the photograph. It was old. At least 10 years old. I was wearing a bathrobe. My hair a mess. My eyes red from crying. He must have taken it during one of our fights. He must have kept it all these years. I need to call Patricia. Patricia answered on the first ring. I saw the post. What do I do? Nothing. Don't respond. Don't engage. Let him dig his own grave. Every post he makes, every lie he tells, I will use it in court. But Carol, I need you to be careful. He's escalating. Men like him don't stop at Facebook posts. He might try something physical. He already threatened to kill me. I know. That's why I'm telling you. Change your motel. Don't tell anyone where you're going. Not even your sister. Not your mother. No one. We changed motels that night. We packed everything into the car and drove to a different part of town. The new motel was smaller, dingier, but it was anonymous. The desk clerk didn't ask questions. He just took the cash and handed us a key. Sarah looked around the new room. It smelled like bleach and regret. This is worse than the last one. Safer, I said. That's what matters. We settled in. We made a new timeline on the new wall. We kept fighting that, and then, a week later, Mark's mother called me again. Carol, I need to see you. It's urgent. We met at a park. The same park where Eleanor had left her journal. The bench was still there, half covered in snow. I sat down. Susan sat next to me. He's losing it, she said. Losing it, he's drinking. He's not sleeping. He's been calling me at all hours, crying, screaming, threatening. He said he's going to come after you. He said he has nothing left to lose. Susan, why are you telling me this? Because I'm scared. I'm scared of what he might do. I'm scared for you. I'm scared for Sarah. I'm scared for him, too. But I can't help him. He won't listen to me. He won't listen to anyone. Then I need to be careful. Yes. But, Carol, I also have something else. Something he doesn't know I found. She reached into her purse. She pulled out a small key. It was silver, with a number engraved on it. What is this? Safety deposit box. At a bank in the next town. He's been renting it for years. I found the key in his dresser. I don't know what's inside. But he's never mentioned it. He's never told anyone. It has to be important. I took the key. It was cold in my palm. Thank you, Susan. I've done terrible things. I've protected him when I should have stopped him. I'm trying to make it right, even if it's too late. It's not too late. It's never too late to do the right thing. She left. I sat on the bench for a long time, staring at the key. The snow fell softly around me that afternoon. Sarah and I drove to the bank. We showed the key. We showed my ID. The teller led us to the vault. The box was small. No bigger than a shoebox. I slid it out of the wall. I carried it to a private booth. My hands were shaking. I opened the box. Inside were stacks of cash. Bundles of $100 bills, wrapped in paper bands. I counted them. $30,000. Cash. And under the cash there was a photograph. A photograph of me. But not a recent one. A wedding photograph. From our wedding day. I was laughing. Mark was holding me. We were young. We were happy. We were in love. I stared at the photograph. Why had he kept it? Why had he hidden it in a safety deposit box with $30,000 in cash? Mom, Sarah whispered. What is this? I didn't answer. I didn't know how to answer. Did I put the cash back? I put the photograph back. I locked the box. I took the key. We drove back to the motel in silence. I couldn't stop thinking about the photograph. I couldn't stop thinking about the young woman in the white dress. The woman who had believed in love. The woman who had trusted. I don't understand, I finally said. If he hated me so much, why did he keep that photograph? Sarah was quiet for a long time. Then she said, maybe he didn't hate you. Maybe he loved you once. But he loved himself more. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in the motel bed staring at the ceiling. The ceiling had a water stain that looked like a map of a country I didn't know. I thought about the photograph, the cash, the lies, the truth. All of it tangled together like a knot I couldn't untie. At 3 a.m., my phone rang. It was Mark. I answered. Carol, he said. His voice was slurred.
Drunk.
Carol, I need to talk to you. It's 3 in the morning. I know, but I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about you. Mark, you threatened to kill me. You forged my signature.
You stole from me.
You lied to me for years. You don't get to call me at 3 in the morning.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean any of it. You meant every word. You meant every action. You meant every lie. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Carol, please, just give me another chance. Another chance. You've had 25 years of chances. I'll change. I swear I'll change. I'll go to therapy. I'll get help. I'll do whatever it takes. It's too late for that. It's never too late. Yes, I said. It is. You had 25 years to change. You had 25 years to tell me the truth. You had 25 years to treat me like a partner instead of a servant.
And you chose not to.
Every single day you chose not to. That's not a mistake, Mark. That's a decision. He started crying. I could hear it. The ugly, choking sound of a man who had finally realized he had lost everything. But I didn't feel sorry for him. I couldn't. He had made his choices. Now he had to live with them. Goodbye, Mark. I hung up. I turned off my phone. I lay in the dark and stared at the ceiling. Sarah stirred in the next bed. Mom, was that him? Yes. What did he want? Forgiveness. Did you give it? No. Some things can't be forgiven. Some things can only be accepted. The next morning, Patricia called. Carol, I have news. The court date has been set. 3 weeks from today, it's going to be a hearing. The judge will decide about the house, the assets, the restraining order, everything. Will Mark be there?
Yes.
And he's going to fight. But we're ready. Carol, I need to ask you something. Are you sure you want to do this once we go to court? There's no turning back. I've been sure since Christmas.
Good.
I'll send you the details. And Carol, yes, you're going to win. I don't say that lightly. I don't make promises I can't keep. You're going to win. Because you have the truth on your side. The next 3 weeks were the longest of my life. Every day was a battle. Every night was a prayer. Sarah and I worked side by side. We organized evidence. We practiced testimony. We prepared for every possible question. Mark didn't stop. He kept posting on Facebook. He kept calling. He kept threatening. He left voicemails that were increasingly unhinged. One night, he called 17 times. I saved every voicemail. I sent them to Patricia. She called me back. Carol, I listened to the voicemails. This is gold. He's threatening you. He's admitting to fraud. He's incriminating himself on tape. Can we use it? Absolutely. I'm submitting all of it as evidence. The night before the hearing, Sarah and I sat on the motel bed. The tiny Christmas tree was still on the nightstand. The ornaments were still hanging. We had never taken it down. Mom, Sarah said. Are you scared? Yes. Me too. We sat in silence. Then she said, what do you think is going to happen? I thought about it.
The house.
The money. The lies. The truth. I think the truth is going to win. I said, what if it doesn't? Then we keep fighting. We don't give up. We don't go back. We keep moving forward. Together. She nodded. She reached for my hand. We held hands in the dim light of the motel room. We're going to be okay, she said. Yes, I said. We are. That night, I slept better than I had in weeks. And when I woke up the next morning, I was ready. I was ready for the hearing. I was ready for Mark. I was ready for whatever came next. But I wasn't ready for what I found in the courthouse. Mark was there. His face was haggard. His suit was wrinkled. He looked like a man who had been dragged through hell, but he wasn't alone. Standing next to him was a woman. Red hair.
Young.
The woman from the photographs. Jennifer. She was wearing a black dress. She was carrying a folder. She looked nervous that I walked up to them.
Mark.
What is she doing here? Jennifer looked at me. Her eyes were red. She looked like she had been crying. Miss Henderson, she said. Can we talk? Before the hearing? No, I said. I don't have anything to say to you.
Please.
It's important. It's about Mark. It's about the money. It's about everything. I looked at Patricia. She nodded. 5 minutes. Then we go in. We walked to a corner of the courthouse. Jennifer opened her folder. She pulled out papers, bank statements, receipts, photographs. I need to tell you something, she said. Mark didn't just steal from you. He stole from me too. He stole from everyone. What do you mean he lied to me? He told me he was getting a divorce. He told me he was leaving you. He told me we were going to be together. He took money from my savings. He forged my name on a loan too. He forged your name, yes. I just found out last week. I came to tell you. I came to apologize. I didn't know he was still married. I didn't know he was stealing from you. I didn't know any of it. How much did he take from you? $20,000. My whole savings. He said it was for our future. He said it was for a house. But he used it to pay his gambling debts. I felt the world tilt. He had been playing us both.
He had been using me.
He had been using her. He had been using everyone. Jennifer, I said. You're not the enemy. He is. She started crying. I'm so sorry. I should have known. I should have asked questions. I should have seen what he was. You couldn't have known. He's a liar. He's a professional liar. He's been doing it his whole life. We walked to the courtroom. Mark was sitting at the table. His face was pale. He saw Jennifer. He saw me. He knew that the judge entered. The hearing began. Patricia presented the evidence. The bank statements. The forged signatures. The gambling accounts. The safety deposit box. The voicemails. The photographs. The letters from Jennifer. Mark's lawyer tried to argue. He said I was unstable. He said I was making it up. He said I had manipulated Sarah. Then Sarah took the stand. She looked at the judge. She spoke clearly. She told him about the lies, the manipulation,
the theft,
the affair. She told him about the letter Mark had stolen from her jewelry box. The letter she had written to me when she was 10 years old. He took it, she said. He took it from her jewelry box and hid it in his office. He didn't want her to have any happiness that didn't come from him. The judge looked at Mark. His face was stone. The hearing continued for 3 hours. Evidence after evidence. Lie after lie. Mark's lawyer couldn't keep up. Jennifer's testimony was the final blow. He told me he was divorced, she said. He told me he had been single for years. He told me his wife had abandoned him. I believed him. I was young. I was naive. I didn't know he was a monster. When the hearing ended, the judge didn't hesitate. He granted the restraining order. He awarded me the house. He awarded me half of all joint assets. He ordered Mark to pay restitution for the forged loan. He gave me full custody of Sarah, not that she needed custody at her age. And he told Mark that if he violated the restraining order, he would go to prison. Mark stood there, his mouth open, his face white as paper. Your Honor, he said. I don't understand. What don't you understand? Mr. Henderson, you forged documents. You stole money. You committed fraud. You threatened your wife. You're lucky you're not going to jail today. I didn't, don't. I've heard enough. The judge banged his gavel. The hearing was over. We walked out of the courthouse. Sarah was crying. Jennifer was crying.
I was not crying.
I was done crying. We went to a diner. The same diner where I had worked for 12 years. We ordered coffee. We sat in a booth. Jennifer looked at me. What happens now? I don't know, I said. I don't know what happens next. I don't know who I am without him. I don't know who I am with all of this. You're free, Sarah said. That's who you are. You're free. She was right. I was free. I was free from the lies. I was free from the theft. I was free from the manipulation. I was free from the fear, but I was also something else. I was a woman who had been lied to for 25 years. I was a woman who had been used and discarded. I was a woman who had been treated as a tool and then thrown away. But I was also a woman who had fought back. A woman who had survived. A woman who had won. I thought about Eleanor. I thought about her journal. I thought about the bench in the park. I thought about her words. Leave something behind. I had left something behind. I had left Mark. I had left the lies. I had left the cheap gifts and the empty promises and the silent dinners. I had left it all behind, and now I was free. The courthouse steps were cold under my feet. Snow had fallen overnight, fresh and white, covering the cracks in the concrete like a new beginning. Sarah stood beside me, her arm linked through mine. Jennifer had already left, her head down, her folder clutched to her chest. She had apologized again before she walked away. I told her to stop apologizing. She had been a victim too. We were both victims. The difference was, I had a daughter who loved me and a lawyer who believed in me and a mother-in-law who had finally done the right thing. I can't believe it's over, Sarah said. It's not over. It's just beginning. What do you mean? I looked at the sky. Gray clouds were breaking apart, letting slivers of sunlight through. The snow sparkled like broken glass. I spent 25 years being someone's wife. I spent 25 years being someone's mother. I spent 25 years being someone's servant. Now I have to figure out who I am when I'm not any of those things. Sarah was quiet. Then she said, "You're my mom. That's who you are." I know, but I'm also more than that. I just don't know what the more looks like yet. We drove back to the motel. The room felt smaller than I remembered. The walls were closing in. The timeline was still on the wall, green and red and yellow, a map of betrayal. "Let's get out of here," I said. "Where to? I don't know. Anywhere. Somewhere that isn't a motel room with a water stain on the ceiling." We packed our bags. We checked out. We drove to the park. The same park where Eleanor had sat on the bench. The same bench where she had left her journal. The snow had melted on the seat. I sat down. Sarah sat next to me. "Mom, why did you want to come here?" "I wanted to see if the journal was still there." "It's not. Someone must have taken it." I nodded. "I hope they needed it." We sat in silence. The park was empty. The snow had stopped. The sun was warm on my face, the first real warmth I had felt in weeks. "Sarah, I need to tell you something." "What?" "I'm not going back to the house. I don't want it. I don't want any of it. But the judge gave it to you. It's yours." "I know, but it's not mine." It was never mine. It was his house, his rules, his lies. I don't want to live in a house that was built on lies. "Where are we going to live then?" "I don't know yet. But we're going to find something. Something small. Something that's ours. Something that doesn't have any memories of him." Sarah was quiet. Then she said, "Can we get a dog?" I laughed. It was the first real laugh I had let out in months. A dog, yeah. A small one. Something that doesn't shed too much. Something that will love us no matter what. "Sarah, we can barely afford a motel room. We can't afford a dog. Then we'll find a way. We always do. You taught me that." I looked at my daughter. She was no longer the angry girl who had hissed at me on Christmas Eve. She was no longer the woman who had been manipulated by her father. She was a fighter. She was a survivor. She was mine. "You're right," I said. "We always do." We sat on the bench for a long time. I thought about Eleanor. I thought about her journal. I thought about her words. Leave something behind. I had left something behind. But I had also gained something. I had gained a daughter who loved me. I had gained a sense of purpose. I had gained the truth, and that truth was worth more than all the expensive gifts in the world. The next week, I started looking for a new place. Small apartments. Cheap ones. Ones that didn't require a credit check or a cosigner. I found one on the edge of town, above a bakery. The stairs were narrow and creaky. The windows were drafty. But it smelled like bread and cinnamon, and that was enough. Sarah helped me paint. We painted the walls a soft yellow, the color of morning light. We bought a second-hand couch from a thrift store. We found a table at a garage sale. We hung a photograph of us on the wall, the only photograph I had taken since Christmas. It was small. It was humble. It was ours. One afternoon, I went to the bank. I opened a new account. My own account. No joint names.
No hidden balances.
Just my money, my name, my future, the teller smiled. Welcome, Mrs. Henderson. Ms. Henderson, I corrected. Ms. Henderson, welcome. I walked out of the bank feeling lighter than I had in years. That night, Sarah made dinner. Spaghetti from a box. Sauce from a jar. She burned the garlic bread, but I ate it anyway. Mom, what's next? Next, I'm going to get a job. A real job. Something that pays enough, so we don't have to worry. You don't have to rush. We have the money from the house. We're okay. Money doesn't last forever. And I don't want to depend on anyone again. Not even the court. She nodded. I get it. I'll get a job too. We'll do it together. We talked into the night.
Plans.
Dreams. Silly things and serious things. We talked about the future like it was something we could shape, something we could build. And for the first time in a long time, I believed it. A few days later, I went to the park. I sat on the bench. I was alone. Sarah was at a job interview. I sat in the quiet, watching the snow melt and the grass begin to show, and then I saw her, Eleanor. She was walking toward me. Red scarf. Wool coat. Same steady gait. She sat down next to me, without asking. Hello, Carol, she said. Eleanor. How did you know I'd be here? She smiled. I didn't, but I was hoping. I found something. At the bench. After I left. A note. From you. A note. You left it where I left my journal. You thanked me. You said I saved you. I had written that note. I had slipped it under the bench after our first meeting. I had wanted her to know that she had made a difference. You did save me, I said. You told me to leave something behind. And I did. I left my husband. I left my old life. I left everything that was holding me down. And now I'm free, but I don't know what to do with it. Eleanor reached into her pocket. She pulled out a small journal. Not the same one. This one was new, with a green cover. This is my new journal, she said. I started it the day I met you. I wrote about you. I wrote about what you were going through. I wrote about what I learned from you. From me, I learned everything from you. Maybe we both learned from each other. That's how it works. One person starts, the other continues. And then someone else continues after that. She handed me the journal. Read it. When you're ready. I took it. I looked at the green cover. What's in it? The truth, she said. That's all I write anymore. Just the truth. She stood up. She buttoned her coat. She walked away. Her red scarf flapped in the wind like a flag. I opened the journal. The first page said, Asterisk, today I met a woman who was broken. But she didn't know she was a mosaic. Broken pieces can make something beautiful. You just have to put them together the right way. Asterisk, I read the whole journal. Every page was a lesson. Every page was a reminder. She had written about her own life, her own struggles, her own victories. And she had woven my story into hers, like two threads becoming one fabric. When I finished, I closed the journal. I put it in my pocket. I looked at the bench where we had sat. I thought about what she had said. Leave something behind. I had left something behind. But I had also taken something with me. A new purpose. A new identity. A new understanding of what it meant to be a woman who had survived. That I stood up. I walked back to the bakery. I climbed the creaky stairs. Sarah was waiting for me at the top. Mom, I got the job. I hugged her. I'm so proud of you. It's just a waitress job. At the diner, where you used to work. They said they remember you. They said you were the best waitress they ever had. I smiled. They said that they did. And they offered me a shift. Starting tomorrow.
We celebrated that night.
We made spaghetti again, but Sarah didn't burn the garlic bread this time. We ate at our new table, in our new apartment, under the soft yellow walls. I looked at my daughter. I looked at the small space we had created. I looked at the future stretching out before us like an open road. Sarah, I said, You know what the most expensive gift is? What? Freedom. It's the most expensive gift in the world. And it's the only one that's worth fighting for. I thought about Christmas Eve. I thought about the hiss in Sarah's voice. I thought about the cold door handle and the snow and the drive to the hotel. I thought about Eleanor and Frank and Jennifer and Susan. I thought about Mark and his lies and his theft and his tears, and I thought about how far I had come. How far we had both come. Merry Christmas, I said. A little late. Merry Christmas, Mom. We finished our dinner. We washed the dishes. We turned off the lights, and for the first time in a long time, I fell asleep in a home that felt like mine. Not a motel. Not a prison.
A home. Small. Broken.
Beautiful. Because it was built on truth. And truth, I had finally learned, was the only foundation worth standing on. Leaving is not failure. Staying is not strength. Strength is knowing when something is broken beyond repair and walking away with your head held high. I spent 25 years believing that love meant sacrifice. But real love does not demand you disappear. Real love does not ask you to shrink. Real love does not build itself on lies. Real love stands beside you, not above you. And real love, real love, is the gift you give yourself when you finally decide you are worth more than the scraps you've been handed. If you've ever been the one who left, if you've ever been the one who chose yourself, if you've ever been the one who walked out the door and kept walking, hit that subscribe button. Share your story in the comments. Because there are more of us than we realize. We are the ones who survived. And surviving is the most beautiful thing we can do.